The silver price will explode, and here is the reason why. There are four reasons specifically. There's the macro reason, there is the technical analysis perspective, there is the fundamental reason, and there is seasonality. And we'll be focusing a lot on seasonality in this episode, so you don't want to miss it. Definitely lock in for the next several minutes because I'm going to go through all four of these things and why they play a huge role in silver moving higher. Now, before we get into that, definitely hit that subscribe button down below if you're new, or if you haven't been here in a while, subscribe again, because we are going to be going into silver and why things are looking really, really positive. So the first thing that we're seeing on the screen, obviously, is more on the technical side. So here we have silver pretty much outperforming its past performance in the recent days. So pretty much, as you can see, silver has been hugging the upper band and Bollinger Bands. The EMA within the Bollinger Bands has been edging up. In addition to that, we've been seeing the RSI move up, while the MACD is finally heading back into positive territory with some positive, strong green bars in the histogram. Now, we all know that. We talked about that yesterday. And I even said yesterday that the $25 level or approaching it might be some point of resistance. And we actually did hit that resistance by the end of the day and knocking it down a bit. But it knocked it down to the top part. It closed basically on the top part of the Bollinger Band. So it wasn't extremely bearish. It just kind of said, hey, settle down there. You're hitting resistance. Get back down to where you likely should reasonably be. Now, here's the thing. This is technical analysis, and things are looking pretty positive. But here's the interesting thing. These are the moving averages. Again, this is very technical, but we're about to get into the seasonality side of things. Because if you take a look at this, let me see if I can actually bring this up here for you guys. Actually, I can't. But you guys know, if you have a calendar, that we're approaching the month of November. Now, this green line here is the 20-day moving average. This yellow line here is the 60-day moving average. And these are important because they're about to cross. And over the course of the last couple of months, the nearest term moving average, so that'll be the 20-day here, has been underneath both the 250 and the 60-day. So it's been looking pretty bearish for silver. But as you can see here, things are turning up and they're turning positive. And it looks like the 20-day may cross into or above the 60-day, which also might be one of the reasons why we're starting to see a run up in the price, because people are trying to get ahead of that move. Now, what does that have to do with anything? Well, we're going to seasonality now. And regarding seasonality, I actually got this article from, or this data here from Gold Silver, Mike Maloney's site, and they got this from the LBMA actually. And this is all data as far as what time of year is best to buy silver. And the reason why they created this article is basically to say, hey, if you missed out on a certain time, here are the great times to do it. And of course, they're saying, hey, look at June, look at October, because those are the times when silver is underperforming. And if you catch it right when it's at its weakest in those months, the whiplash effect to the upside will be fantastic for you in the months to come. Now, where are we currently? We are currently in the month of October. Now, actually, let me scroll down here so you can actually see the months here. We are in the month of October. And seasonally, from 1975 to 2020, October has been a weak month for silver, or on the weaker side, while November and December tend to be a little bit better. And if we're going to go into the following year, January is also good. And you could even say February is pretty decent as well. You can say that happened this year in 2021. January is pretty good. February is pretty good. Of course, we had the whole silver squeeze movement at the time led by Wall Street Silver. So those things did help. Now, here's the thing. Last year, we had this happen, and let me go to a graph that shows a bit of what was going on last year. So here's a silver graph, price action, and here are the months of the year. So let me scroll up to here so you can kind of follow along. And September was actually pretty decent. But then once we got to October, things start to kind of weaken a little bit. And November was okay, but it wasn't fantastic. But December, and again, like I mentioned before, January and February were pretty astounding for silver prices. So what I'm trying to say is that seasonally, we might be approaching a really fantastic time for silver prices. And regarding technical analysis, that also supports where we currently are in silver price action. So seasonally, the end of the year and the beginning of the new year tends to be good for silver. And these moving averages are about to cross in a positive fashion for silver. So two things are lining up pretty well: technical analysis and seasonality. As we also know, in addition to this, there's been some other reports regarding the performance of silver. And take a look here. This comes from Kitco. I'll read this here briefly. Silver has a much better chance of a breakout than gold based on two key observations. The simplest would be the gold to silver ratio breakdown since September 29th at 80-1 down to 73.5 today. That shows momentum is building under silver over gold. And second is the latest CFTC non-commercial net long positioning. Currently, silver has a net long position of 16,190 contracts with a 1 year average of 40,866 contracts net long. The 3 year max position is 80,646, leaving plenty of participants to join in on any possible breakout, therefore creating a squeeze. And here they also have some technicals to kind of show a bit of what they're looking at as well. So we also have some additional reports here preferring some positive movement for silver. Now, what about the macro side of things? Because one of the things that I've been mentioning over the course of the last few months is that silver really had to deal with the macro issues of the Delta. And obviously, within the United States, those cases have been dropping off like a cliff. And because of that, that has gotten out of the way. We've been seeing the US 10-year yield rising with inflation expectations rising along with it. So we should expect more inflation or more of an inflation narrative to start playing out in the macro. And fundamentally, we also know that because of inflation, real yields, money supply, and just gold prices even rising higher. And as you guys know, if you've seen some of my latest videos, Bitcoin also has a positive relationship with silver. As Bitcoin prices rise, and as we have been seeing them rise, we should also expect silver to rise along with it. So this is something that is essentially preparing silver to move higher. We have four things. We have technical analysis, timing wise. In the near term, we should expect silver prices to look more positive than they had been in the past, given the fact that these moving averages are about to cross over with one another. And they're crossing over with one another around a time that is routinely positive for silver. And they're crossing around a time when Delta cases are down. And we're starting to see fundamentals really play out with OER, owner's equivalent rent, starting to be featured into CPI. And we're starting to see other factors support a rise in silver price. So all I'm trying to say here is that things are looking extremely positive for silver as of now. So as far as, let's go back to this screen, the best month to buy silver is in June. And also, it seems like for them, they think it's October as well. A lot of people seem to be pretty positive about silver right now. Let me know in the comment section if you've been buying silver in the month of October. And also, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks again for watching.